upside down.
In this episode, Scott becomes a doctor.
It's a full experience, like it's up close, camera in the bajingo, like head blasting out.
And Alex gets angry.
Scott, I'm a little bit worked up, okay? I'm just a little bit stressed and I'm a little bit annoyed. And sorry if I wanted to rub myself on the back.
Need a little bit of self-soothing.
Sorry about the naughty words.
My friend had a baby. Now he don't sleep no more. Waves crash in his eyes. Tides on the nursery floor. Oh, my friend had a baby.
You've done a lot in the last couple of weeks.
I've done a lot. Been busy. Just to make this all about me, I've had surgery.
I forgot about your surgery.
Well, why do you think that episode's like? You remember, like, you being like, "Hey man, should we record an episode?" And I'm like, "No, my entire face is like bandaged up, like even more nasally and annoying than I normally am."
I forgot. I'm not picking up any sort of wayward breathing from you or anything like that.
Listen to this. That's the sound of two nostrils, baby.
Yeah, how is your airflow through your face now?
My face holes are incredibly luxurious. First time in 37 years having two nostrils.
Wow.
Yeah. 96% obstruction.
Gee whiz, how's your sleep now?
Pretty good,
Yeah.
to be honest. Well, as far as I'm aware, it's such a weird experience, like because the splints are so huge, like they go up through your sinuses and whatnot. So there's this massive amount of congestion that's followed. So every time for the first week afterwards, every time I sneezed, thought about walking quickly, bent forward, put my socks on, I would just get a nosebleed. So
Yeah.
I was yeah. So surgery, we have done the positive birthing course with Dr. Erin Kelly from Hypnobirthing Australia, which I'll talk about a bit today, and also our in-hospital birthing class as well, during which I transposed the majority of the lessons I learned from the positive birthing course to actively correct the midwife there, which was received as well as you would think that it would.
You're just mansplaining your way through.
Walked out of that weekend course and I've just become the, well, actually guy. Like, if you thought I was an insufferable prick beforehand, like now I've got that 2% knowledge. I'm like, I'm basically an obstetrician now.
Yeah.
So
just walking past birthing suites like, actually, guys, I've got an idea here.
Yeah. I hear you're making quite a lot of noise in there. Thoughts from a stranger. What about yourself? What has been happening in the 3-4 weeks since I spoke to you last?
So we are very close to game time. Like we are, I reckon, in the next fortnight, we are going to have an experience that's going to enable us in our next episode to talk about the birth of my child, because we are clocking in at about 36 weeks and the other two came at about 38 weeks because they're all tracking large, and the obstetrician was like, we should probably get this out before we do some damage here. So we don't have to we don't need to get to 40 weeks. And you've seen the size of my head, and actually both of us have pretty big heads.
It's an orange on a toothpick, really.
But so the obstetrician's like, look, let's just accelerate things a little bit. And my wife is more than happy for that to happen, more than happy to be encouraged to give birth. And so, as we've talked about before, this pregnancy number 3, I don't know, I feel like we've heard anecdotally from other people that it just gets a bit worse every time you have a child. And with number 3 now, she is experiencing that to the max. So not sleeping at night, not getting to sleep till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, restless legs. So I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's doing squats on the side of the bed to try and get some energy out of her legs. Like, what are you doing? She's like, exercise. And just many women get to this point of the pregnancy, like, just get it out of me.
It's so interesting putting your partner's experience against my partner's experience, with you guys being on number 3, we're on number 1. my wife's like a Disney princess. Like she's basically like gets out of bed and the birds fly in and put her bathrobe on, and then she comes out singing, and and the dog sort of follows behind, wagging its tail. And no, she's had her fair share of trouble, but definitely, I guess comparatively, from what I've heard about your partner, what she's truly battling through, it's pretty awe-inspiring that they can keep going. Because I know I've said before, but I unroll a bowl of socks and they don't match, and I pretty much go back to bed. I'm just like, oh, no, that's it for me. Today is ruined. It's over. Yep. Whereas what is colloquially called the fairer sex is able to put up with their bodies just being absolutely decimated. Like, no, I've still got to go to work. No, I've still got to do this. No, I'll come on the walk with the dog. That sounds good. Meanwhile, I don't know about you, but I'm just like, oh, the toothpaste is all the way at the bottom. I don't want to squeeze it all the way out. I'll just get a new tube out.
Well, like every so often she'll pop. So this is where my lungs are this week, and it's like up by her collarbones or something like that. So I get like a weekly update on her bodily anatomy and what's being pushed around. I'm like, how do you do this? This is like, why? Like I stubbed my toe. I'm like, well, 000. See ya.
Well, on that note of anatomy, I have very exciting news to report.
Oh,
our little fella who was in breach has decided time to do a 180. He's flipped around, head down. He's ready to party.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. And it was the most unceremonious moment with the OB because he's been upright the whole time. Like he's been basically sitting in the cockpit of a fighter jet, just like no, I'm ready. I'm looking forward. And the OB's like, yeah, he's in breach. It sort of is what it is. And some babies do that and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And we're in for a scan and my wife's like, oh, how's he going? He's still in breach. And the OB's like, nah, he's not in breach.
Locked in.
Well, what?
Ready to go.
That's great news. That's fantastic news. He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's good news. Yeah.
Well, I will say that ours has been head down for about the last 2 or 3 months. Just like, look, rent's great here, but I'm ready to see the wider world and ready to go, which has resulted in many interesting moments of the old lightning crotch. Have you heard about that one? Where the pangs of nerve pain that just shoot through the crotch at random times, as it's colloquially known. I should have used that for my word of the week. Anyway, I'm not using it. You should have
used that as word of the week. I was actually thinking, I'm like, is that like the equivalent of when you call a redhead Fanta pants? Like lightning crotch is for a blonde-headed person.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, this is like literally, just massive amounts of pain through the crotch because baby's just doing disco dancing on your pelvis.
Yeah, that sounds rough.
We've done no classes. We've done nothing.
We've done no classes.
No, we've done none of the
We're doing all the classes on this end. Read the books and doing the classes. I read an entire book today. Like
really?
From cover to cover. I did a book today.
Oh.
Dr. Golly's Your Baby Doesn't Come for a Book.
Dr. Zeus.
Send the check, Dr. Golly.
So he's like, Dr. Zeus, green eggs and ham. Yeah, back and front.
Well, I will say that I did get suckered into it because it is quite a colourful book.
Okay.
There's a lot of imagery. So when I say cover to cover, it would be the equivalent of a full prose novella.
Okay.
Not like a textbook.
Well, given that we are both so close to the business end of these pregnancies with us, I reckon we're 2 weeks away. You're about 3 or 4 weeks away. About a month?
I think we're like 4 to 5.
Okay.
Because we're coming up on week 34.
Okay. Okay.
Not too. I mean, look, it's close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough where you go, I should probably have the car seat in the car. I should probably have this, which is actually something that we've done over the last month. We've got 3 seats in the back of the car now. I pulled out all the stuff from storage in the shed. Today we were moving cupboards in our bedroom. So we're in full nest mode now. So if baby were to come, the bassinet's on the side of the bed, the change table's on the other side. There's a new little wardrobe in our room with all the baby clothes in it. So we are locked and loaded, ready to go. We have the nappies. We've had a baby shower, which little old Alex did his special little thing and organised a secret little baby shower for wifey because he's a good boy.
What a lad.
He gets all the little stars from everyone. And yeah, organised a little baby shower for my wife with all her friends and her family. That went well. And I took the kids out and they left them there with champagne, orange juice and sandwiches, and everything went well. So that was a little gold star for Alex there, if you don't
Very
mind.
nice, very
Take
nice.
notes, gentlemen. Actually, we did the special trick of, because we've got all the baby shit, right? We've got everything already. We've got the cameras. We've got all.
You got all the you got a track record of keeping a baby alive. I'd just keep using the stuff you got because those babies lived last time around. So
Yeah, so we've got all the gear, everything's fine. So I said to everyone, if you could just bring us maybe, because everyone's like, oh, what can we bring? What can we bring? I was like, a frozen meal. Bring a frozen meal that we can throw in the freezer.
Yes.
So when we're in the midst of absolute chaos, we can just throw something in the microwave. Happy days, done and dusted, which was really good. So that's been our last month or so.
How good's that? We at our baby shower, we asked for people to bring a book. So rather than toys and other random odds and sods, just a book that's meaningful for them that we can add to a little library for our son to be.
Aww.
And there's some absolute bangers in there.
You get some of the classics?
Oh, yeah, all the classics like, Hungry Caterpillar and all that kind of good stuff. But there was a few in there where I remember seeing them as a kid. Like I remember seeing the cover of the book, and this is how bad it is. The book is in the other room. I still can't remember the name of the book, but if I showed you the cover, you would know it.
Right.
It's like animal something or other, animalic or something. It's like a guide to animals. And I feel like every single child on the face of the earth had it, but never read it.
Okay.
Like it was always present. And when I saw it, it just twanged the banjo strings of nostalgia for me. I was like, oh. But we got a couple of really, really beautiful books. We got some Beatles books, so like Beatles lyrics that have been turned into a children's book, which, by the way, I'm absolutely gutted about because around about 10 years ago, I started a business from start to finish at 2 a.m. until 3 a.m. with a stranger in a smoking room, right? In a smoking area in a pub. And it was from the full business, right? Never got off the ground because it was only alive for an hour. And it was going to be called Rockabye Baby. And it was going to be rock lyrics from like the ages and like popular pop songs turned into children's books. And then I saw that and I was like, that bastard, he ran away with the idea. But I looked it up and it wasn't him. So,
okay. I was going to say, that's quite the undertaking to take that off. But because
No.
That is a savior when you're in the middle of an absolute tantrum or something like that, and you've been listening to God knows what children's music for days on end, and then you come across Rockabye Baby, and it's sort of just the nostalgia that comes from that music just sort of gets you through the day. You're like, oh, I remember 100%. This. Oh, Radiohead at 20% normal speed. This is... And just puts you to sleep slowly. And just
Yeah. Or like the lo-fi version of it. So this would purely be the theme of Rockabye Baby was going to be the lyrics of the song in a children's book. So no music, you're just reading the lyrics. There'd be consistent characters throughout. I remember waking up the next afternoon and going, that's a great idea. I am never going to do that. This will never eventuate. And it will fade off into obscurity. And here it is. Someone's done it. So take it from me. Lessons learned. Do not let genius slip through your fingers.
Capture that lightning in a bottle when it happens, or lightning in a crotch when it happens, whichever way. Now, we are in the midst of having all of our different medical appointments at the moment. And we've got our checklist for the hospital, and I want to get to that in a second because there might be a couple of things in there that you go, oh, I haven't thought of that. And then anyone listening at home will be like, oh, I didn't think of that because I've got a baby on the way as well. The other day we had, I don't know how many appointments you guys are having this end of the pregnancy, but this is where they're starting to ramp up for us, where we're getting checked in. We've got private health insurance, so we have that for us, which is a wonderful thing where we can check in when we need to, because we've had a couple of times where my wife has been like, something doesn't feel right or whatever it may be. And she did actually end up in hospital for a day a couple of weeks ago.
Shit.
Yeah. Wow. Where she was just not feeling right and things were it just felt off. Things just felt off. And so she went into the hospital and had to be monitored for about half a day because baby's heart rate was just way too high. It It was pushing the 170s, the 180s, and just
Damn.
baby
This end
just-
of the business.
Yeah.
This end of the business. Like, that's high.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's probably a bit too high. So she got strapped in and had to hang around for a couple of hours, and baby's heart rate came down. Week or so later, she's had an iron infusion to try and help with all the symptoms of the pregnancy, which is a very common thing to have. Just boost that iron a little bit just to move things along. And we had an appointment with one of the midwives who was just checking through things. And you just feel like comforting. You're like, I feel like I'm in a warm blanket of safety right now because you're giving me all the confidence that everything is okay.
I'd be at the hospital right now with my wife if I could be. If they let me there, I'd be like, let's just stay here until it's birthing time.
I remember with our first or second, I think the first, because we were in there for about a week because we had complications. And so I just got 3 meals a day. I think I lost about 4 kilos because it was just really consistent, decent food. I'm like, oh, wow, nice little salad sandwich. Maybe they were giving me signals. Anyway, we were at, we had
You think they were like subtly slipping you a low-cal diet? Like, all right, Papa Bear, let's strip a little bit of flesh off the winter hibernation here.
we were at our 30, I think, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about all the things that we can start doing in the lead up to the birth and everything, because I know that you can start collecting colostrum, which is that first bit of really sweet milk that comes out, that high protein or high fat or whatever. You can correct me on later, doctors and nurses.
It's full of all the good stuff.
All the
Like,
good
it's full
stuff.
of everything that's great, yeah.
All the good stuff is in those first bits of colostrum, and you can start collecting that and put it in a freezer bag and take those freezer bags with you to the hospital when baby's out for the first time and you might have some difficulty breastfeeding, but you can start freezing it. And I said to the midwife, because I'm like, well, this is baby number 3. Thank you very much. I'm a bit advanced with my knowledge of what we can do ahead of the birthing plan. I said, oh, so can we start collecting the colostrum now? And she's like, oh, no, you can't do that yet. You have to wait until 36 weeks before you can start collecting the colostrum, because what happens is that can release hormones or chemicals in the mum's body that tells the body, hey, guess what? You could get things moving now. Let's start pushing this baby out.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to do that too early because you don't want to trigger anything so that, as rare or whatever it may be, inadvertently trigger a labor. And I just started chuckling to myself, and the midwife was like, what do you laugh? Like, what's funny? I'm like, it's okay, I won't share it. And she's like, no, come on, I can tell you. Like, okay. I was like, so you're telling me I have to wait for a couple of more weeks before I can sample the produce? and she was like, oh, yes, that's right. Just wait till then, and then you guys can do whatever you'd like to do. And my wife's just sort of sitting there, like she's used to it by this point. She's like, of course you said something like that. So yeah, but now we're just over that 36 mark. Not saying that we've sampled anything yet, but just
Look, I'm not here to yuck your yum, right? Right?
I'm not saying I'm a sommelier of booby
I've
juice.
known you for some time, and I like to think I'm an open-minded guy. If it's not hurting anyone, all good with me, right? Let 1,000 flowers bloom. Flower, which we'll talk about in a minute. The lotus flower, which is the analogy we're using.
Okay.
For our birth. No, that one's not ready to bloom for us yet. The rest of them, that one's going to be in bud form for a little bit longer.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just saying is that when colostrum starts coming through for your partner, just wait till you hit 36 weeks. And then I can guarantee you, now that we've talked about it, that's going to cross your mind. It's like, what does that taste like?
Oh, look, I'd be lying to you if I was going to sit here and say, no, I've not thought about it. Like, I'd be lying straight to your face. And that's not what I'm about.
Curiosity is how humanity progresses,
Exactly. You think about the cavemen, the cavewomen, they go around, they see something on the ground, and what's the old rule? You give it a sniff. Does it make you feel sick? No. You rub it on your hand. Does it give you a rash? No. You nibble a little bit. Does it make you throw up? No. Okay, cool. It's probably let's party. And then 50% of you die, and then the rest of you thrive on the
new nutrients,
mistakes of the other ones. Colostrum, I assume, is very much the same. There'd be some point where you'd be like, what is this? I would like the power of a fully grown man and a newborn baby. Sounds
This will
great.
get me through the day. This will be the energy that I need.
Yeah. Just get my wife to drink, 3 or 4 espressos. And I'd like the I'd like the Red Bull version of colostrum, please. On that topic, and I know we're going to talk a lot about sort of preparation for the big event, right? Which I'm very excited. I will tell you right now, I am at a loose sort of analysis, 1,000% more confident now than I was pre these courses.
Okay.
So let me preface everything I'm about to say with get off your ass, go to a course. I'm saying that both to you, Alex, and to anyone else who is not gone.
Right.
Like, go out, experience it. It is genuinely one of the best things you can do. Just sort of getting different perspectives and hearing different professionals talking about the birthing experience, what to expect, what's going on. But what I'm about to say, it may be controversial. It may make it sound like I'm on a soapbox.
Hold your horses, people.
Oh, just strap in. But how the fuck do we know so little about women's health? Like they make up a fairly substantial amount of the population, right? So we go to this positive birthing course. We're in there. There's a lot of white collar professionals in there, right? People that, and there was also a couple of tradies as well, but people that are qualified tradespeople, university qualified. There were a couple of teachers. There was an anaesthetist in there as well. The only person in that room that knew that the uterus is a muscle was the anaesthetist. I thought it was an organ, and so did everyone else, right?
There you go.
Did you know that?
I never really thought about it.
Neither had I. So when she said, we're talking about the uterus, what for let's go around the class. What do you think the uterus is? And I just went, well, it's an organ. It's an organ. It serves a purpose. It does a thing. It must be a unique organ that's just used for, a few things on the reg.
Yeah.
No, it's a muscle. So it's an incredible muscle that does this like twisting, surging, pushing up like a accordion.
Of course it is.
And that's where this like idea of like a contraction is so crazy, because when you think of contraction, to go back to my early reference of the toothpaste being squeezed out, I thought that's what it was. I thought it was just like it was closing at the top and it was like pushing out. And you might laugh. You laugh, motherfucker. But everyone else in that room thought the same thing, right? Except the anaesthetist, who was just like,
It's dead people.
So we watched this video of the uterus in action, and you watch this thing happen, and it's completely outside of the woman's control.
Yeah.
But she has no control of the uterus whatsoever. It just does the thing. So when everyone's in the room screaming push, in the TV shows and in the movies, the pushing does nothing. It does very little, because the uterus functions the same way the heart functions.
It just does it.
It just does it automatically.
How does it know what to do?
That was my immediate question. But I'm looking around the room at everyone, and I'm like, are you people seeing this? Are you hearing the same thing that I'm hearing? Is this blowing your balls off, hearing this? And everyone's gobsmacked about the whole thing. And Dr. Erin Kelly, that we had on here, said a very useful and quite really stuck with me. And she was like, well, the body knows how to grow a baby. Why would it not know how to get the baby out?
Oh, yeah.
And I went, yeah, right. Okay. That is, and I'm not sitting here saying that the woman has nothing to do and they just sit there and the body does it all for them. That is not what I'm saying at all. But the fact that, this idea that it all comes from this pushing and sort of hard, sort of tensing up and all that kind of thing is actually, according to this course and also according to the hospital, is one of the worst things you can do.
Right.
Going into this ultra sort of tight mode because all of the muscles contract in the rest of the body and it stops the baby from getting through the birthing canal.
Yeah.
And so I think back to every single movie, TV show, book or whatever that I've read where there's a birthing scene in it, the woman is on their back or they got their feet in the stirrups or something like that and they're pushing their absolute literal guts out and the baby comes out screaming and everyone's screaming and covered in blood and crying and it's just an absolute horror show. No, it
doesn't have to be that way.
It does not have to be that way. And in fact, there's another thing that really blew my mind was that being on the back during the birth is the worst position to be in because you're fighting against gravity.
Been lied to by Hollywood again.
The shape of the women's just sort of hardware.
Yeah.
It's got to come up and around this S bend if you're on your back. That's why, like, some women, they're on their hands and knees, some are standing, some are sort of sitting upright and letting, gravitational pull assist them with the birth, like, gravity being the secret midwife in the room. And I'm going, that makes so much sense. What the fuck? Why are they not teaching this in school? And then I think back to everything that I learned about, babies being born throughout my entire life. Up until it's time where everyone goes, why don't you have a baby yet? You guys should have a baby. Why don't you have a baby? It's because every time I've thought about having a baby, in my mind, my wife is dying or like everyone's screaming and there's blood and guts and like everyone's running around and machines are beeping and going off. Reality, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, there are plenty of women that give birth on their back and there's all manner of different sort of, procedures and inductions and cesareans and all these different varieties of, births that happen. But I was equally sort of in awe of what happens in birth, like watching it. And we watched some birthing videos, and I'll get to that in a minute as well. Equally in awe and equally infuriated because I'm like, why don't I know this? And I look over at my wife and she doesn't know it either. And I'm like, it's your body. How do you not know this? And she's like, well, I don't know. No one teaches it. I think about also like some of the, not the OB or the midwives or anything we've had, but some of the advice that my wife has received from, in some cases, health professionals, is incorrect. It's just sort of like people kind of making it up as they go and giving it a bit of a punt. So that's why I think if you're going to do it, get in there. Like, this was a full weekend, very intense learning. I don't profess to be a midwife or an OB, but as a general member of the public who is now just that tiny little bit more educated on women's health, I'm like, it is a goddamn miracle. Like, it is absolutely a miracle that the body does what it does. It's enough to make you see the light. It'll turn water into wine. Fish and bread will erupt from empty plates. It is truly amazing. And just quickly on this, while I'm on this, like, very selfish tangent.
That's fine.
The birthing videos. My God, they were beautiful. Like, they were absolutely, it was a full experience. Like, it's up close, camera in the bajingo, like head blasting out. Well, it's not blasting out. It's like coming out and they're doing the breathing exercises and the bearing down and the surge. So we're referring to it as surges rather than contractions. And the baby's coming out and it's a really beautiful experience. And the partner's got a role to play. Everyone's kind of got a job to do in the room, which is great. No one's screaming in these videos. Like, I know there are plenty of births that have complications and screaming and pain are a part of that. But in these videos, I'm going, why is it that, media portray, I know it's for the entertainment factor, but media portrays birth as this like constantly and always a traumatic experience when it can be a really beautiful experience. And then when I asked that question, because of course I did.
Yes.
The response, which again really stuck with me, is that birthing in a hospital is a relevantly recent thing. 100 years ago, you and I, being in our 30s, we would have been privy to or would have seen, 30, 40 births. Like, we would know what to expect because, Jenny down the street's giving birth and can you bring some towels down here? And, we're getting on the old telegram and get the midwife down here. Whereas now it's just such a private and it's a closed off experience that you just don't see births. And those birthing videos I saw were the first birthing videos I've ever seen. But what blew, again, my balls went back on and then blew them off again, was when we did the hospital course and we watched the birthing videos. This is in the hospital, mind you, which was also a beautiful and amazing and very useful course to do. All the bits were blurred out.
Why?
Right? So the women are giving birth and it's all going, sort of variety of different experiences they're having. But all the actual, like, National Geographic stuff, that's got a blurred out thing. It's like, we should be seeing this and we should be getting more desensitized to the idea that, birthing is not always like Hollywood
Glamorous
portrays.
and yeah.
Like it's not. It's very rarely, I imagine, glamorous, but it's not always like this horrible.
Yeah.
The woman's on her back screaming, and everyone around her is screaming into her face that she needs to push.
Yeah.
Very revealing. The hospital birthing course was amazing. The positive birthing course was amazing. Lots of crossover there. Lots of common ground and some different perspectives on it. So could not vouch for it more.
So what was the conversation like in the car on the way home then? Because you probably went in going, all right, I've seen some World War II documentaries in my time, but I'm prepared for this. And then you've had that experience. And then what was the conversation with your wife about how then she felt about that?
Well, I'm pretty sure it started with me apologizing. Like, I'm pretty sure I like silently walked to the car and we got in there and I'm like, look, I'm really sorry about, like not knowing this stuff. Like, I feel like a real dipshit.
You're apologizing on behalf of all men, or
yeah. I'm like, on behalf of men and modern science, soz, right? Like, it created this hugely robust conversation about not just the what we're now or what we could be expecting. I should that should be the double underline. Like we could be expecting this. You never know what's going to happen until the big day comes. But it's changed a lot about what we're going to do on the day. The division of labor, so to speak, what she's going to be doing, which is exclusively focusing on her body and what's going on, because she's the kind of golden ticket, according to the positive birthing class, not to spoil too much, is that she shouldn't have to think about shit.
Yeah.
Right. She should just be focusing on the body and the baby coming through and what her body's telling her and doing the breathing exercises, and that's it. Me, I'm running the rock show in the background. I'm plugging the things in. I'm fucking with the temperature. I'm mucking around with the playlist, talking to the midwives, talking to the OBs, making sure she's comfortable. She needs a drink, get a drink. You need a little snacky snack. Here comes the snacky snack. Whereas before, I think maybe the incorrect conception or perception of it, which could very much become reality without this kind of preparation, is that you walk in, there's the chair in the corner, I'm in the chair, like, obviously volume on 25% on the reels as I'm scrolling. Don't want to be too distracting. Maybe show her a couple funny dog ones here or there, and here's your baby. Bad idea. Super bad idea to do that.
You have to be engaged. You have to be locked in. You have to be in sync. You have to be swatting the flies in the room like, no, you can't come in, or like da-da-da-da.
But talking to the midwives in the hospital about doing this course and saying, look, we've been to this positive birthing course. This is what we want, in an ideal world, in a perfect picture book birth, we would like these things to sort of transpire. Is that a viable thing? And the response being absolutely, yes. Like this, look at this room like it's your room. Take control. You want to put LED candles up? Great. You want to put fairy lights up? That's great. You want to play your playlist? That's great. All cool. No dramas whatsoever. Just no open flames. Like no fireworks.
Taking all the fun out of this. Oh, fine.
Keep the various liquors in an unmarked container. So it was a really beautiful experience to take that very intensive weekend and then talk to the people that are likely to be in the room with us when the baby comes, and then being like, well, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, you want to do that? Do that. That's cool. We'll get out of the way.
Yeah, Dr. Erin Kelly really opened my eyes to some of that about, making the delivery the same as the conception in a ways. I was like, that made me think. It made me think about things. I was like,
So in the back seat of the car, 20 seconds.
Look, if we're applying as much effort to the birth as we are to the conception, then there is not a hope. Not a hope.
So it is in the chair and reels are on. And a lot of shushing of people because you just found a funny one and you want to listen.
Yeah, well, everyone else in the room, guys, be quiet. We've got to finish over here.
Guys, it's a 30-second reel. I'm pretty sure you can keep it quiet until then. Like on that topic of the environment being the same as to get the baby out as when the baby went in. Totally. Like the whole, just the knowledge that you can take in, as long as it makes sense and it's not dangerous or ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
you can take shit in there. Like you can make it your own. You can take your favorite pillow. You can take your various throws, and you're allowed to turn the lights off and you're allowed to close the curtains, and you're like, as long as you don't touch the medical tech, do whatever you want in there, really, as long as the mother's looked after and that's the priority. So super reassuring.
Lift your game,
And
lads. If you're listening, just lift your game. It's only for a day or two, and then you maybe just keep doing things for your wife and everything, but just or your partner, and just think about that birth, as Scott's talked
Think about the effort that you would put in for your best mate's buck show. Like, just do that for a day for the baby as well. Like,
Why are there strippers
less
here?
jelly wrestling, but more like vitamin jelly? Like you're just swapping out one thing for the other. Like,
I did talk about before, we have our official bring to the hospital checklist, and I actually have a prop. So for people at home, there it is there. There's a prop in my hand right now. I've got a list of things for what we can do for the labour, for what you can bring for your birth partner after the baby is born, and for your baby themselves. So Scott, drum roll please. Da-da-da-da. Very good. Oh, that came through quite nicely. So for labour, you got to think about things like, have you got your Medicare card with you? Have you got a birth plan? Do you have your...
I don't even know who my Medicare card is. Oh no, it's like the first item. It's like the first thing. It's going to be a disaster. All that like confidence I had before is fucked now. It's going back into an anxious mess. God, I was already heightened before. You knew I was heightened coming into this, talking about all of that and how pissed off I was about women's health and not knowing anything. And now you're just singing the boots into me when I think I've got it under control. For 1 second, you just can't let me have it, can you?
You're levitating above the ground like the Jesus of women, just like, like,
God.
fist
I can feel
pump
the
to the
pulse
chest.
in my nose and both temples.
So, well, look, this is great because you've got about 6 weeks to find your Medicare card wherever it might be, with whatever private insurance card you've got. Anyway, let's continue. Birth plan. I think you've got yourself a birth plan. Dressing gown, slippers, socks, an old nightie or a t-shirt for birth. So one that you're prepared to dispose of, I would recommend.
Check.
Any massage oils or lotions, lip balm, snacks, drinks, lollies, relaxation materials, books. So I think we're really starting to get into that, the making the room feel comfortable and like home. Hair bands, pillows, TENS machine if you're using one, the classic help strap to the back and help with the muscles and the things. Toiletries. So there are lots of toiletries post-birth that you've got to think about. Any music, a pen, just in case you need to write something down or sketch what you're seeing. You never know. A drink bottle with a sports lid specifically. So I think we're thinking about non-spilling materials here. And I can guarantee you, do not forget the water bottle. For the love of everything that you do not forget the water bottle. For your birth partner, think about comfortable shoes and clothing, a change of clothing. And I imagine if you're going to be there for a couple of days, you've got to think about a couple of days worth of stuff. Any swimwear if you plan on labouring in water. We don't, but, c'est la vie, you never know. A camera or a phone. Everyone's got a camera on their phone these days, but think about, is there a nicer camera that I want to capture this moment with, or do I just use my phone? Again, snacks and drinks. They're really doubling down on this whole snacks thing.
You'd probably get a bit nibbly since your body is like expelling
A human.
being.
What's your go-to in moments of stress? What do you lean to in the fridge or the cupboard?
Oh, I'm like a great white shark. My eyes go black. I just grab and just eat. Like there's blood in the water, which is my stress, cortisol, and I'm like, right, let's get some dopamine in here. Yep, piece of bread, dry oats, and a pickle. Great. Done.
I'm sorted.
Let's go. As long as there's intake, I'm fine.
There you go. Right, well, we're halfway through the list. Now, after the baby is born, some loose, comfy clothing. I think this is now we're talking mildly exclusively for your birthing partner. So loose, comfy clothing, nursing bras, breast pads. I think just everything continues to leak after all this happens. Nipple creams or gel discs for the old nippies there. A night dress or pajamas, cheap, larger undies, earplugs. Why not? Like, who needs to hear a baby screaming or your husband complaining about something? Don't worry about it.
There's plenty of other people in a hospital. It's fine.
Nappies and wipes, maternity pads, all very, very, very valuable. One thing that is not on the list, this list, which we have brought in consistently over our last two children being born, was ice packs. Ice packs for all the bits and the things. Because you can get specific ice packs that fit in underwear to try and reduce the swelling and reduce the pain as well. Now, for your baby, for your little boy in your case, and in our case, we don't know yet, any of your singlets, sleep suits, going home outfit and wraps, have you worked out how to wrap a baby yet? Do you know how to do that?
Yes, I read that in the book today.
The old swaddling?
The birthing classes, yes.
Very good.
All the various different techniques, burrito baby and like all the different fucking things to do. It's good, yeah.
Socks, booties, mittens, hat, gift for the older siblings, which is what we've done. We've bought gifts so that the kids get a little something when baby comes into the world so they can feel, still involved. And
what are they getting? Just sidebar?
I don't know. My wife did it. I've got no idea what we've got for them. So
I would want a Switch. I think. Switch 2.
And don't forget the car seat in the car already. So that's usually the husbands feel like, oh yeah, I've done the car seat. I feel pretty important. That's all I need to do.
Now here's my first chance for a actually.
Oh, here we go.
Something missing on your list.
Yes.
Linen.
Linen.
So the type of linen that your crib or your bassinet is going to have in it can be really helpful. Some hospitals provide linen, some don't.
Right.
But it can be a really good transition from the hospital environment into your home if the baby's using the same kind of linen. So that's a dynamite segue.
Thank you.
Very inadvertently, positively, you've created a connection for my how to dad question. So just quickly while it's live, play the music.
How to dad, how to do, fix a boo-boo or a shoe, got a tantrum, got no clue. How to dad, it's in your hand, step by step you'll understand. How to dad, you're the man.
All right, Alex, here it is. It's go time. It's the day, right? The day is happening. You've got your bag there. Partner is going through the surges. She's rocking back and forth. Contractions are down to 3 every 10 minutes. The smoke alarm's going off. The kids are fighting. The dishwasher suddenly floods the kitchen. No, none of that. None of that's going to happen. It's going to be a really beautiful moment for you and your partner.
Okay, yeah, I'm breathing.
As a dad to be, what should I be thinking about in that moment? What are my key things I've got to grab or do as I run out the door helping my wife to the car? What are some pointers from you to me of going, right, remember these things because I've got two, I've done it twice already, came back, left the gas on the whole time. All my pets were dead, right? So fish all floating, right? What can I do? Like, what are some pointers from you to me in the moment as we're about to fly out the door to remember?
I would recommend to just take a mental load off of yourself now is have your go bags ready to go. Sitting at the front door and just, if there was an emergency, you can just pick them up and go. You've also got to remember that people will help and everything will be okay most of the times. But in our case, neither of ours were really emergencies. Ours were booked and ready to go, and we had a time that we had to be in the hospital and everything went fine and that was all good. Having been in the situation twice now, you as the dad, you sort of sit in this state of you want to help, but you don't know if you're going to get in the way. And it becomes a real sort of mental, like, what do I do? You feel like you've trained for this moment. And then you sort of just stare into space and go, oh, fuck, this is actually happening. I'm at the point now where I think that is still going to happen despite the distractions that we've got in the house. Like, we're organizing at the moment, like, what do we do with the kids? Like, where are they going to stay for a couple of days while we're in hospital? I would just say, turn the gas off. If you're cooking, turn the gas off. I'm a big proponent of turning the mains water off if I'm out of the house for more than 2 days.
Oh, you are such an old soul, are you? you're just this 1940s, like deep down, Oh, well, I better bring in the wind chimes.
We went on a holiday not so long ago. It was only an hour out of town, but we were away for a week and I turned the water off. I was like, I don't want to come home to this if there's a problem.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, but it's so funny.
I didn't turn the water off because we got down to the holiday destination and I'd forgotten to turn the water off. So I called my neighbour. I said, hey.
Oh, no. And was his immediate response like, I'm not doing that because it's not like the early 1900s anymore. I'm not...
No, they did it for me.
I don't even know where my mains water is. Is that a problem? Should I know where that is?
I would know. I think it would be a really good idea to know because, like, if it's the middle of the night and you blow a hose in the house or something, baby's screaming, you're like, what do I do? You've got to really be the home. You've got to be the man of the house in that moment.
I just set fire to the other end of the house and hope it evens out in the middle. Like the floors are flooded. If I set fire to the roof, it should equal out.
No, fair. No, I would just have everything ready to go because if it does become an emergency and either you're doing the driving to the hospital or you're getting an ambulance to the house, it's just like the advice that we got is try and make sure that your partner has almost nothing to do in that situation. You go, don't stress. I've got everything under control, like a duck. You know, your feet underneath might be 100 mile an hour, but the top of you above the water is just, no, don't worry about it. We're good to go. Little story time. When we had our firstborn, our daughter, she was booked for an induction. Both of our kids were booked for inductions, like I said earlier, because they're a little bit big. And for our daughter, we went in at, I think, 9 o'clock at night. So we went into the hospital 9 o'clock at night and this is a very regular thing. And she was going to get the gels applied and all the little things that they do to start engaging a pregnancy. And they said to me, Alex, you go home. She's fine here in the hospital. You are chill. Have a good rest. Get back to the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, fucking hell, 6 o'clock in the morning? Like, are you sure? Like, what time's breakfast? Like, do we have to rush? Do we have to rush this? Like, is it really going to happen?
Did you say 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
There's an a.m. now?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how hospitals operate. It's really strange. I got a call at 2 a.m. She woke me up. Got a call from... Rude. Got a call at 2 a.m. and she's saying, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm having a heap of contractions. Can you come in? And I was like, you're in hospital. Why are you calling me? And no, that's not what happened.
What do you want me to do about it?
And I went, oh, fuck, this is happening. I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll be there in like 10 minutes. And got in the car. It's 2:15 in the morning. I've got my go bag in the car as well, driving to the hospital. It just felt so surreal. But for me, who's probably a fastidious planner with these things, with a small little thing, I was just like, oh, holy fuck. And I put the radio on just to maybe distract me a little bit. And this, like, I can't remember which Beatles song came on or something. And it was like one of those slower ones. And I'm just like in the car, just like with a tear coming down my eyes. Like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Like, this is so amazing, but I'm fucking terrified, man. And then everything was okay.
So go bag by the door. Now, with the state of the world, I obviously, like most people, have a bug-out bag by the door now with a rifle and various other
and a can
MREs.
of petrol and
a can of petrol and book of matches and like a survival guide in it. When do I move the go bag to the front of the pile as opposed to the rifle bag, which is currently there when I'm waiting for end of days?
Oh, maybe a week before you're due. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, that's when you can do it.
When the men come, and you know what I'm saying, the men, when they come to raid our various food stocks and the mask with the gas mask and everything, and they reach in and I go to grab the rifle and I pull out a fucking fuzzy blanket, it's on you.
That's fine. After the break, I've got a lot of things to complain about. See you in a sec.
Oh, my friend had a baby. Life flipped like a coin. Oh, my friend had a baby. Chaos joined the joy.
If you enjoyed this podcast, consider leaving a review. It helps people find this podcast. Share with your friends or family. Love my daddy!
Parenthood's a dubstep drop, not some easy dream. Oh, my friend had a baby. Life lived
Welcome back. We're such a giving podcast, Scott.
Every time I think about this podcast, all I think about is how much we give and how little we get in return.
It's a little bit painful.
It's
does-
painful. It
does
is
hurt.
absolutely painful. Not more painful than, I mean, you're hurting a lot more about it because you've been in the throes of it, dealing with the absolute bullshittery of it while I'm off, in La La Land taking OxyContin with my nose surgery, watching the clouds sail by, getting these furious texts from you, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
I remember I did call you about this situation that I'm about to discuss in a moment, and you were like, mate, I'm about 3 pills deep at the moment, and
I am 4 days into an oxybender. There is nothing bad that can happen right
I'm
now.
like, hey mate, how you going? And you're like, ah, like singing the start of The Lion King. So if you look at our episode history, we had Sam Jacobs on a month ago, which was episode 10, episode 11 now. But in the break there, I posted a trailer for the podcast, which is a combination of things of the last couple of months since we've existed. And it was about a 10-minute episode, a little bonus bit for everyone at home that shared highlights from the show. Now, that existed because we entered into an awards thingamajiggy. And we're like, you know what? We've really got something special here. Let's enter into this awards, the Audio Awards for 2026.
And it's independent as well, mind you.
Yes,
Just
yes.
Frame it, create the framing.
Yes, I will. And so this was I'm going to call them out, Mumbrella. So they set up this awards. They're like, give us $200. Just give it a couple of pineapples. We've got this category here that you guys might be interested in, mate. I'll tell you what, pretty good chance if you ask me. And so I look at the category list. There's like, all the big marquee, big broadcasters. They've got all these categories that they can enter in for these audio awards, best shows, best producer, best hosts, all these big things, best documentaries, and a cute little category like best independent new podcast. I was like, you know what? I think we're really doing something for dads out here and sharing the message. And the guests that we've had on, which have just been the reason why this podcast has any legs to stand on, are the people that we have on.
Oh, and they're the Rolls Royce of human beings. Let's face
Absolutely.
facts.
And they're sharing all of this expertise. And this is stuff that Scott has paid a lot of money to experience. And I'm just on the coattails.
Leeching off of it.
Leeching all of this
Taking
stuff.
the 5% of the knowledge that I'm prepared to share and who without reaching any sort of agreement, signing onto these courses and so forth.
Which, in fairness, Dr. Erin Kelly was the first one to actually call me out on, which is perfectly fine.
She is a psychologist. She saw it coming. She's written all over you.
She picked me from a mile away. And I woke up one morning. So we did a huge submission. I wrote all of this stuff. I wrote pages and pages. I responded to all of their questions. I cut this 10-minute promo because it had to be less than 10 minutes, and it was to show off what our show was all about. And Scott, you read all the stuff that I wrote, and I sent you all the stuff.
Magic.
Look, I reckon we're actually a pretty good chance here. I'm going to send all this stuff in. And I remember the deadline passed, and I woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning that day and went, hang on, the announcement should have been yesterday, and I've had no email. I've had no emails for the last 6 weeks. What the fuck's going on? And at 4 o'clock in the morning, I checked the website, and they had all the, and you know this story, but I'm sharing this because I'm purely venting it.
Look, my blood's boiling. Like hearing it again.
In
in a sober fashion, I am at immediately 9 out of 10.
And not in an oxy-induced state of psychosis. It was.
Call my ENT after this.
I looked at the categories. I expanded the best new podcast list, and My Friend Had a Baby was not there. And I didn't know how to feel. They talk about the 7 stages of grieving, and I think I've just been on anger for about 4 weeks now. And I thought it was like, we paid you $200. Like, normally that just gets you in the door. And like, just put us in the nomination list just so I can say on our socials, look, we're nominated. Or our little advertiser pack where I can say, well, actually, we were nominated for the Audio Awards. Now, I should have picked this. I should have picked this from a mile away, that a business called Mumbrella was not going to support a dad-based podcast. What was I thinking, Scott? You gave me $100. I put in $100. We paid this money and nothing. Fleeced by this business, who I can only assume just looked at the name of our
It's
podcast.
just awash in dirty dad-based podcast money, just rolling around in a pile of filthy pineapples on a maternity bed. It's a crime against entertainment and education, and here we are, just shattered, just
Now,
two shells of human beings.
I have a list of the podcasts that were shortlisted, and I'd like to call them out right here, right now.
Put it out there. Look. If there's one thing I am known for, it's leaving a bunch of burnt bridges. So let's torch that fucking.
So the first one's called Catching Evil, something about serial killers. What? Because there's not enough of those existing already. Blur.
Never heard of a serial killer based podcast. Womp womp.
The next one is called Maths Funny, which is a Married at First Sight promo show. Oh, yeah, best independent podcast. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
It's funny enough watching those pieces of shit trying to exist, let alone listening to someone else. Like,
and mind you, most of these places are associated with a business. Like they're like, by this media. Mate, we are true independent. We are just flying with...
We are raw dogging this whole situation.
It
doesn't get much more independent. This is grassroots shit going on right here.
And I want to ask our listeners, have you heard a single ad? A single ad when listening to this podcast? No, because we don't charge you for your ears, although we'll probably think about it at some point because this costs a lot of money. But anyway, like, have you heard a single
I have
ad?
thought about buying your children, though, because I know they do the middle bits, and I'm like, how much for the children?
No, their labour is that they get fed and there's a roof over their head. They're fine. Another one, Made in Australia, History of Extraordinary Aussie Women. Okay, this one probably, seems kind of valid. And the next one, Soil, Rewilding the Underground, all about, it's only a 6-part documentary about trying to keep soil healthy for farmers. It's a 6-part they've stopped. They don't exist anymore. If they win, you don't expect anything more from them.
It's like a posthumous award in podcast form, but no one's dead.
No, that's exactly right. It's like, congratulations on your 6-part series. Well, we really look next to the next one. No, we've actually covered everything about soil there is to talk about. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's not that much content about dirt. Would you believe it? We made a terrible mistake launching this podcast. Realised on episode 4, oh, fuck, we've got 2 more episodes worth. Like, stretch it out.
Just confirming, is it still beneath us? Yes, it is. All right, fuck, episode 7 might be on the blocks here.
Well, for now, because we nearly went below it, seeing those nominations.
True. Oh, I was going to bury myself. Yeah. The Mitch Curry chat show talks with some famous people. Like, I'm sorry that we don't have access to famous people as an independent podcast.
We've managed to get some famous people on here as a part of our independent podcastery.
We have with almost no credentials,
which is all the more impressive in my eyes.
I would like, one of the first things I talked about in the nomination was that, mate, we got Peter Coombe on the show. Like what more do you want from us?
We've had global treasure Peter Coombe.
Yes.
We have had national treasure Sam Jacobs.
Yes.
We have clinically renowned and, national presence Dr. Erin Kelly.
Yep.
And we've also we're celebrating the everyday Aussie as well.
People.
While we're at it. How have we done this in 10 episodes? When you look back and you go, how the fuck have these guys managed to capture so much of the Aussie sort of,
We've talked to people protecting our country who are raising children. We've talked about people pulling families back together whilst raising children. These are dads, everyday dads. We're telling everyday, I'm sorry, they're not famous, but does that mean their stories aren't as important to tell? Mumbrella, tell me about that. And then the last one, we used to be journos, about some ex-journos who obviously are professionals in the field and they're applying themselves to the podcast medium. Like, we're independent. And they break down media stuff. It's actually probably pretty good. But anyway, I don't care.
Clearly you don't. Like, I can tell by how red your face is that you are Mr. Cucumber, aka Cool As. Like, you clearly don't care. you are. I'd put you on ice, but that ice would shatter from how cool and frozen you are.
I'm as cool as come, but you know what? I'm over it. I don't care anymore. Whatever. That's fine. You guys enjoy the award ceremony in Sydney. I don't want to even be there. Even if a spot comes up and you come crawling back into my phone with a little message going, actually, we want to shortlist your thingy.
So it's called Mumbrella, but by the sounds of things, there is no parent sort of presence in that at all.
They're just a media they focus on women a lot, and that's fantastic, and that is great.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. That's great.
And they're big, and they're doing all those things, and I'm just a little bit sour that we didn't get nominated because I did a lot of effort. You and I have put a lot of effort into these episodes, which I used to cut the trailer, and you can listen to that trailer right now. It's a bonus bit of material before this episode, and I think it really encapsulates what this podcast is all about. And now that I have semi-cured myself of the depression that I felt of not seeing our name on there, because this is our little baby. Anyway, Mumbrella killed everything I hoped for in life.
I don't want to overemphasize how much this has destroyed my soul. But I'm going to pack this fucking Dog and Pony Show up. Wrap it up, boys. There's no place for this kind of info entertainment in the eyes of Mumbrella.
No, sorry for caring about dads.
I will go as far to say I think they hate parents, right? In general, right? I'm just saying that's the optics on the situation. That's what it looks like from an eagle eye view. That's what I'm reading into this situation. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy, right? That's just living his life and observing what's going on around him. And this is what I'm taking in.
You know, when they talk about
an elevator, I'm going to smell that curry I ate last night, right?
You know, the media every so often talk about the epidemic of dads and lonely dads and all those sorts of things. And here we are just trying to lift them up a little bit. And traditional media. Anyway, I'm probably going to get myself
just trying to lift the veil on the beauty that is parenting and a couple of dads who care about their spouses and just trying to bring a little bit of joy into this world.
Yeah.
And fucking here we are getting dunked on by Mumbrella.
I must admit, at one point, I think it was probably about 5 o'clock in the morning when I finally wiped away all my tears. I was like, what are we doing? Why am I bothering with this? What's the point of this? Why do I even want to do this podcast email? What's the point? Why does it exist? Who? And then
What is life?
What is life? What is the point? Like my children will be fine without me. This will be fine. Mumbrella, this is on your hands. And
my blood is on your hands.
Just kidding. Then you do get things like when someone says to you, that was absolutely fucking fantastic. And you go, you know what? This is I'm going to rub myself on the back here. This is all right. This is okay.
I think the phrase is pat yourself on the back.
No, I like look, Scott, I'm a little bit worked up, okay? I'm just a little bit stressed and I'm a little bit annoyed and sorry if I wanted to rub myself on the back.
Need a little bit of self-soothing. Sorry for being hurt. Look, take it from me, Alex. Let me give you a piece of advice.
Okay.
Never move past the anger phase. Keep it inside of you. Never let it resolve. Always stay at a 9 out of 10. Just expect everyone to fuck you over.
Anyway, you've had a real insight into our mental health over here, and then my friend had a baby.
Never let your guard down. Never let your guard down.
Never let them know what you're feeling. You're a man. You should never let them know.
Never let them know unless that feeling is anger.
I really don't.
Was that cathartic?
That was. I feel a lot better now. I apologize, Mumbrella. You guys are. I'm sure you're doing a great job. And all those podcasts.
For nothing. I apologize to no one and for nothing. I stand by everything that was said. And on behalf of Alex, who is Mr. Inclusive and will be there next year for the nom, no. Burnt, bridge torched, right?
Gone, done.
Bridge just isn't torched. I have salted the earth so that the bones of my enemies shall not rise in the future in ghostly form. Like, that's the level of fury.
If you're still listening, thank you. you really want us just to let go? Do I even do word of the week now? Like, I just feel like.
Well, I was going to say, this is great segue for some good aggressive music. Cue the music for word of the week.
It's time for Word of the Week. It's time for Word of the Week. It's time, oh yeah, for Word of the Week.
Okay, Scott, this week's word of the week.
Hey, Mr. Positive, here he is.
Yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, sorry, I blacked out for a couple of minutes. There. I'm
Old
not sure
Alex
where.
Sunshine.
Yeah,
as
that's what they
him.
call me. They call me out in the West. That's what that was. Scott, this week's word of the week is perineal tear.
Ooh.
Have you heard of that one before?
No, I'm assuming it doesn't have anything to do with the nice Italian bread for dipping, but tell me all about it.
Fontanelle.
You know when you tear the bread, you put it in the fucking oil and the balsamic vinegar.
No,
Is that a perineal tear?
I don't believe it
But
is.
is that why I've been looked at weird in all those restaurants? And I'm like, I'm doing a perineal tear. And people are like, oh, God. Oh, God.
No. Actually, I feel like you should really speculate about what this might be before I say what it is.
Okay. Well, it's not. Okay, so it's not an Italian bread.
No, stop. This is gonna be bad.
Okay, right.
So, a perineal tear, and this is actually quite important to talk about, but it is a tear, is common for the perineum to tear to some extent during childbirth. Very normal. But tears can also occur inside the vagina or other parts of the vulva, including the labia. Up to 9 in every 10 first-time mothers who have a vaginal birth, which we don't call natural, we call it a vaginal birth, will experience some sort of tear, graze, or episiotomy. It's slightly less common in mothers who have had a vaginal birth before, but for most women, these tears are minor and heal quickly. Now, people think about perineal tears, and I perhaps don't Google image search this one as a terrible thing to happen, but they do happen, and they can be minor, but they can actually also be extreme. So it's something to be aware about, and there are things that the doctors can do to sort of make these not as bad as they can be. So there's first, second, and third and fourth degree tears. And we were talking before about the things that mums go through to have babies, and this is just another kick in the dick of things that can happen to mums. I'm trying to, associate with dads here.
I figured that's what you're doing.
Oh, okay, right.
You just put me straight back to the earlier conversation about like doctors and people not knowing about women's health and just like seeing them like down there during the birthing thing, and they're like, wait a minute, where's your dick? Like,
doesn't every have one? Anyway, so the first degree tear is a small tear affecting only the skin, which usually heals quickly and without treatment. A second degree is, and I just want to think about your own anatomy at this point and this happening to you, okay? Tears affecting the muscle of the perineum and the skin. These usually require stitches. And then there's the third and fourth degree tears. For some women, about 3 out of 100, the tear may be deeper. So we're talking about kids who are just pushing through and they're juggernauting their way through the canal here, right?
Yep.
Third and fourth degree tears, also known as obstetric or sphincter injuries, extend into the muscle that controls the anus, and those deeper tears need repair in an operating theatre. So if you didn't think childbirth wasn't metal enough, this shit, these things are just, it's just part of what childbirth is. It's like, it's just nuts. Nuts, the things that you think about. These
hot
people.
tip from the birthing course, a good, well, not a cure-all, right? This is not the solution. Do not come back and sue me later. But warm compress in the area,
Yes.
that can help to reduce the severity of the perineal tear. Also, all silly Italian bread jokes aside.
Which I didn't realize was a technique until I saw it, and just for the record, something that the medical professional in the room should be doing at the time. So you dads out there or birth partners, don't jump in with a warm compress all of a sudden, hold it up against your partner's bits. When I saw it happen, it was medically applied appropriately by the obstetrician at the time, who all of a sudden was pulling out warm towels. I'm like, I remember that on a flight to Europe once. I got a warm towel. This was entirely different. Pulled out a warm compress, pushed it up against these things, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice little service. When do I get that?
A nice wet, warm towel on the gooch, please.
Oh, yes, please line me
One for
up.
Papa. Thank you. Would you like me in dead chook pose or from behind?
I've heard standing is a good technique.
What about the dad's pose? I will be in dead chook pose the entire time. You know the dead chook pose, right?
No, I don't.
Well, you get like a roast chicken and it's like on its back and its legs are sort of up and it's all like tied together. I assume there'll be a second bed. Like when they said we could do whatever we wanted in the birthing suite, second bed, dead chook, 12 hours.
Warm compress me all up in my gooch, please. That'd be lovely. So there are things that they can do because I know that this is conversations that I've had with my wife in the past and other people who have had impending babies is that's almost a topic of conversation is getting a perineal tear is like the baby comes out and just wrecks shit up and the things that can happen as part of that. But I think the conclusion of that is if you do have concerns is having that conversation with your doctor because I didn't realize there were things that they can do to do their best to prevent that from happening. Because all of a sudden you've got all sorts of medical things that may need to happen post-birth, and there are plenty of complications that can happen. But that's just one of them. Just another thing, we talked earlier before about just in absolute awe of what our wives or anyone's partners do when they go through this, and this is just another thing that can happen, and it's just phenomenal. They put up with it.
Yeah, and look, to take a full lap around the sun to my earlier rant of talking about how beautiful the birthing experience can be. These kinds of tears, they're oftentimes unpredictable. They happen in the moment. Like you can plan as best you can and have all the warm compresses in the world and all the stretches and perineal massage and everything that you want, and it can still happen. It's a cruel fact of birth, and another reason we should be so grateful that as men in particular that we don't have to go through it because it's a huge sacrifice. Women, they really put their bodies on the line for this kind of thing, and on behalf, and I will obviously Google that because I'm on the, speaking of dinner, I'm on the red wine course at the moment. So I will immediately go and Google that and then, silently scream into a towel and while I'm sitting on the toilet. It's incredible. The amount of endurance and pressure and stress and pain that women can put up with and not put up with, but go through anything in order to bring these, human beings into the world.
Little bubs.
So while I was apologising after, day one of the positive birthing class to my partner, I'm in advance saying thank you now in case anything goes in that direction, but hoping not.
Yeah, I think the more prepared you are for these things, the more level-headed you can be when if shit does go south, you can feel prepared in yourself, but also be that calming rock for the person who's actually going through it.
Alex, would you consider not making the shortlist for the podcast awards a third or fourth degree perineal tear emotionally?
Emotionally, look, they could have put a sword between my legs.
Are you talking?
Had two people
impalement,
two people either side and lifted me up like carrying a footballer off on their last game and just split me up the middle. Medieval style.
My tear is, on the football analogy, my tear is deep and wide enough that you could put the entire championship cup into it.
And I'm thinking about a bread knife as well, not a sharp knife.
You're serrated.
Yeah,
you don't want to be sliced. You want to be you're getting sawed.
Yeah,
you're feeling every sort of up and down motion.
Yeah. No, I was a broken man, and but that's my battle to fight independently, quietly, and behind closed doors, and
Arguably, it would be like having a closed mumbrella inserted, which is then opened inside. Of it. An opening of a mumbrella.
Yeah, a bumbrella.
A bumbrella.
Give me a bumbrella. Yep.
Now, I'm not saying go on their socials and start commenting bumbrella. I'm not saying that. just pulling just pulling a Trump out there. I'm not saying
Not
storm
actually saying that.
umbrellas like headquarters, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you will be acquitted of all charges if you do.
Look, we're just asking for calm here. That's all we can do.
I'd like these wounds to heal, and the only way they will is with pure vengeance. Like,
This is a call out to actually all the shortlisted people in that.
oh, fight me in real life is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Right?
okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Scott, look, this
Oh
is.
no, you don't want to fight them in IRL? No, that's fine.
Oh no, I never want to see any of them again, and I'll never listen to their shows. If you'd like to send us an email,
If you'd like to air your grievances,
or if you have any feedback, or you've got a topic that you'd like to talk about, a story you would like to share, were you screwed over by Mumbrella at any point? Let us know.
and in comes the torrential downpour of emails.
of other podcasts. Anyway, Scott, what is our email?
Our email is hello@myfriendhadababy.com.au. It is manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by Alex, who will respond in 5 minutes or less any day of the week, any hour of the day.
Yep, I'm here.
Because that's the guy he is. He's got 3 children.
Yeah.
Sleep is done. It's over.
Yeah, I'm just there, just sitting, waiting for the little pingy emails to come through with ideas.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scott, this has been a great episode. We have covered a lot of things. We have talked a lot, but here we are.
I'm going to have to listen back to this and really take stock.
If you'd like to recommend this show to anyone else, please do. And enjoy the fact that we haven't served you any ads because we're legends. But at some point, we should probably try and make some money out of this. I don't know. There's a good chance by the next episode that we will be talking about one of us having a baby. It's terrifying. It's exciting. We'll see you in the next episode.
And for all you tired parents out there, remember, your beautiful babies at the awards ceremony, your hopes and dreams and podcast nominations in the bin.
My heart! My heart! Oh, you stabbed it so deep.
Baby, chaos, join the joy.
Podcast.